Hello friends, it's my pleasure to welcome you to my channel Laser Graphics and Multimedia, and in today's video you are going to learn how to create simple abstract banner in Photoshop. So let's begin. But before we begin the tutorial, if you are very new to this channel, remember to click on the subscribe. So with that being said, let's get started. First thing first, you have to come to the file at the home tab here. Make sure you click on new. Then from the top right here, you have to type in the name of your design, which is abstract banner. Okay, then you have to come to the width column right here, and then the width column should be 1339. Then after you type in 1339, you have to come to the height, and make sure you change the height to 346, and then make sure your pixel is checked. Then your resolution should be 300, and then make sure your color here you choose RGB. Then you have to come down below here and click on create. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is to go to your toolbar right here. At this point here, make sure you click and hold down, and then make sure you choose your rectangle tool. So after you choose your rectangle tool, then you have to come to the property right here. At the point here, make sure shape is checked, and then you have to fill it with color. Then you have to remove the stroke width or stroke color, and then you have to come to the workspace and draw your rectangle. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is to go back to your toolbar right here. Go to edit. From edit, make sure you look for free transform. And then the next thing you will need to do after your transform window is pop up. Next thing you want to do is to make sure you press Ctrl key down on your keyboard. This change your mouse cursor to something like this. Then you have to drag. So I'm leaving it in 25.5 degree. So once you're satisfied with the size, then you have to come to the top right here and make sure you click on this check mark to accept the transform. Okay, so next thing we want to do right here is that we need to make duplicate of this. So we have to come back to the layer panel right here. We right click on the layer panel and we look for duplicate layer. So this duplicate one here, we can name it second, or we can name it rectangle 2, and then we click on OK. Now this rectangle 2 here, we have to drag it inward a little bit, and for us to be able to differentiate from this these two shapes, we have to go back to rectangle 1, and then we double click on the layer thumbnail, and then we make sure we change the color so that we will be able to differentiate from them. So you can see it right here that we have the second first rectangle at the bottom, where we have the second rectangle at the top. So the next thing we want to do right here is to come back to the second rectangle right here. We right click on the second rectangle, and then we also look for duplicate layer at the top right here. So this duplicate one here is going to be the rectangle 3 that we are going to use for this design, and then we click on OK. So this rectangle 3 here, we need to change the color. We have to go back to the layer thumbnail. We double click on the layer thumbnail, and then we pick on another color. This will allow us to be able to differentiate them. So right now, what we are going to do is that, so we are going to adjust this back a little bit this way. Now we have these 3 shape in this manner. So what we are going to do next is to go back to the background layer. Then from background layer, we need to go to our toolbar right here, and then we click and hold down. At this point here, we have to so at this point here, we have to choose our pen tools. Then having choose our pen tool, we make sure we come to the top right here, and then at the point here, we make sure we choose shape, and then we can change the color. Then we have to make use of our pen tool now to draw shape. All right, so next thing we want to do is to come back to our layer panel right here. So we go to the background layer. So having chosen our background layer, we have to go back to our color right here. We need to change the color. So we can change the color to something like this. Then we have to draw another shape. Okay, so we can go back to our pictures right here. Now we need to look for these three layers, all our three rectangle. Then we have to press Ctrl key on our keyboard and select the top one. Then so we go to edit, free transform. So this is going to pump up. Then we have to press hotkey and shift key on our keyboard. This allows us to increase the size of the shape. And once you are able to satisfy, then you have to come to the top right here and click on this check mark to accept the free transform. All right, so next thing we want to do here is to apply appropriate color to all this shape right here. All right, so we can simply start from this one right here, and once we select that, then we have to come to the layer thumbnail. We double click on the layer thumbnail. This allows us to pick any type of color we want. So at this point here, I'm going to select my color from this peel. Okay, and then I'll click on OK. Then we have to change this color also. We have to select this, and then we double click on the layer thumbnail. So we can change the color to something like this, and we click on OK. All right, so next thing we want to do is to select this one right here, and then we double click on the layer thumbnail. Then we make sure that we change this to white. So you can see the color code for white. Then the next thing we want to do right here is to right click on this particular layer, and then we make sure we look for rasterize layer. Then having rasterized the layer, we have to come to the toolbar right here. We click and hold down. This time around, we need to choose rectangular marquee tool. Then having choose your rectangular marquee tool, we have to drag all over this way. And then you need to press delete key on your keyboard. Then the next thing you need to do is to go to the home tab right here. You go to select and make sure you click on deselect. So you are going to have stuff like this. So the next thing you need to do is to fall back to this particular shape right here. So this is where we are going to add picture to our banner. So for us to add a picture, we have to go to the home tab right here. We go to file. Then from file, we need to look for place embedded. Then the next thing you need to do is to come to the image layer, right click on the image layer, and then make sure you look for create clipping mask. So you're going to have stuff like this. The next thing you need to do is to go back to the shape right here, select on the shape, then you have to go to your pen tools. Then having choose your pen tools, then you have to come to the top right here. This is where you need to change the color to white. Then having changed the color to white, you can easily increase the weight from the point right here. Okay, then you have to click on your move tool. So next thing we want to do right here is to press shift key and make sure we select the car image. Having selected the car image, then we have to go to home tab right here. We go to edit from the home tab here, and then we look for free transform. Then we can increase the size. Press shift key and you drag out. This allows us to increase the size until we are able to achieve the right result that we are looking for. Okay, so next thing we want to do here is to drag it back a little bit. At this point here, so the next thing we're going to do right here is to add text and icon to our banner.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that stack, taking big swings, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah, but I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these dreams I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?